So far we established the subject, a mood board, we made a quick sketch establishing the angle and the overall composition, and we gathered some images. In this lesson we will make a quick tryout to see if our selected images are good enough to build a composition based on our sketch. And here is how we'll do it, quick and easy. First, we have to isolate the thumbnails from our latest file to keep our aspect ratio. So we'll select the crop tool or press the C key and make sure the option delete crop files is checked. Make a selection around the thumbnail and hit enter to apply the crop. Then select the setup folder in the layer stack and hit delete the delete key because we don't need those anymore. Now rename the thumbnail layer and do the same with the gradient layer. Then go and select an image size and scale it up to 600 pixels in width. Make sure you have the link option active to resize and keep it the initial proportions. Now we lock the thumb layer and we hide it and take a look at it only if we need it as a reminder for our composition structure. In the gradient layer we have a nice gradient from a light gray on the bottom to an almost white value on the top, just like a haze would be. It's good as a base layer, so we'll keep it. Now let's go and select some images. Let's pick the arches picture and drag and drop it to Photoshop as a new file. Double click on the background layer to unlock its transparency and select the magic wand tool. Click on the blue sky color and then press the shift key to select more areas and then delete the selected areas. Make sure you have the contiguous option unselected for a quick selection. Bring it to our, select the selection, bring it into our composition and just flip it horizontal to match our angle. Adjust the size a bit more and hit enter. Now select the polygonal lasso and select the front pillar, then cut it and paste it over. We want to have it on a separate layer since it is a foreground element and the rest of the structure is a background element. Now we are interested in values only, so pick the gradient tool, not the color. Pick a black value on the bottom and a dark gray shade on the top to suggest the depth away from the camera. And for the rest of the structure, that's a nice gray. And for the rest of the structure, pick a light gray color, just a bit darker than our gradient base layer. That's a good one, almost. It's a bit darker than our background. Now we need to fix that hard edge over the top. Select the layer transparency, match it with a new layer to apply the color effect. Select the brush tool with a nice smooth round brush and tap of the left upper corner until the color blending looks okay. Now we have a nice gradient on the structure like it would be rendered as a depth map. So let's pick another image, the statue this time. Drag it into Photoshop as a new file. Double click on the background layer and select the wand tool and select the sky. Not good, we need to select the contiguous option because now the selection was on the statue also. Deselect and make a new selection, now it's okay. Shift click to select more and then delete the selection. Now pick the polygonal lasso tool and make a rough selection around the statue. And bring it in our composition, rotate it and scale it up and place it also tilted to the left to match the arch's angle. Yes, just like this. I think it's okay. Then pick a mid gray for the overlay color a value somewhere between the black from the foreground and the light gray from the background structures. Because it has to be in the middle of those values, as it is in the middle of those structures as a position. So it is a nice depth on those layers. So we'll delete the statue source file, we don't need it anymore. And now let's pick a foreground element, this crane over here. Do the same, double click on the background layer, select the wand tool and click the sky color. We need again that continuous option to be unchecked. It's better, select the shift to select all the colors, then delete it, bring it to our composition, flip it just to match our angle, and distort it to match our angle even more. Yes, adjust the position right over there. We need be pointing on the statue, so pick a black color as an overlay color. Yeah, but it is too flat. We need a gradient overlay here too, so pick some dark grays for the top color and the black value for the bottom color to suggest a little depth for this element. Okay, now it's better. So now we have a nice direction here and leads the eye from the bottom to the statue. Let's adjust it a little bit more to make the statue pop up a bit more as the main focal point. Yep, that's better. Yes, and adjust the background layer. Here you go. Just a bit more on the left, and here our layer is cut, so we'll pick the eraser tool, choose a hard edge rounded brush and start erasing some parts like it would be a ruin, a destroyed ruin, a destroyed structure. So now let's bring more elements in the foreground. This will be the nice. Yes. Now select an element, that will be okay. Now repeat the selection process, copy and paste it into our composition and adjust the scale and position. Just there at the bottom, and also apply a dark gray color overlay to it just to match the crane value. Now we close the source image because we don't need it anymore, and we'll select another structure for the midground. Here it is. Repeat the selection process and we only need one crane. Select it, then copy paste it to our composition. Yeah, we roughly select it with the lasso selection tool, and we paste it into our composition just on the left side of the statue. There's a bit of white space left, so it will fill up the space a bit better. Color overlay it with a value a bit darker than the statue because it is just in front of it, and that's good. And bring the layer down into the layer stack until it is behind those foreground elements. Now we pick the brush tool with a hard edge rounded brush and fill the white space below our structure. Later on we will need to fill that space with a nice photo, but for now a flat gray value would be enough. So delete the source image. Now all the structures lead the eye to the statue. This is nice. We have a nice rhythm too. Now we need more details, but we'll add them in the next lesson.